Thursday's Talking Reds. We are in the back kitchen in Liverpool One, just across the way from the Hilton Hotel, if you don't know where it is. There's been a few of the videos we've done here. We're going to be doing a video from here every single week from now. I'm Josh Sexton, joined by Neil Atkinson today. It's the morning after Liverpool drew 1-1 with Napoli at Anfield in their final home Champions League group stage game, Neil, and it's frustrating, isn't it?
I must have been at the match last night. I apologise to anyone who was sat near me. I was ranting and raving like nothing on earth. And there was a couple of reasons why. One was Liverpool's performance and how they were frustrating me. Too many crosses into the box, all that sort of stuff. But the other reason why was that both sides, and this is going to sound terrible, and I'm going to talk about game theory, and I'm really sorry, but both sides act in a way which is just contrary to all game theory with 10 to go. So I want to go through this with you, and I'm going to get you to make a decision. We've got a game, we're going to play a game. So the reality of the situation was 10 to go, Salzburg are over the hill and far away in their match. So Salzburg, they have got 7 points. They've beaten Genk home and away, and they've got a point at Napoli, 1 game to go. That's done. So they've got 7, yeah? Liverpool at 10 to go, Liverpool are on 10, Napoli are on 9. So Napoli have only got Genk at home left, a game that we could all say they should win. Yeah. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the reality. So if Napoli's priority is just to qualify, then they have got nothing to lose by trying to win the game, because they're then going to go back down to 8 points, but then if they beat Genk, no matter what, they go to 11, and they're definitely going to qualify. If Napoli's desire is to come top of the group, then they need to get a result against Liverpool, because if they draw against Liverpool, Liverpool have still got that coming to the top of the group in their own hands against Salzburg, right? Liverpool are in a situation where if they don't beat Napoli, they're not guaranteed to qualify. They've still got to then go and get a result against Salzburg. So if they draw against Napoli, they still need to go to Salzburg and get a result. When they play Salzburg, so this is honestly full game theory, and it might be boring, and I'm sorry, but when we play Salzburg, one of the least likely outcomes is a draw. And the reason why is because if it is 1-1, 2-2, 3-3 with 5 minutes to go, Salzburg have to put everything at it. Yeah. So Liverpool either go and get one on the break or it goes from there. So a draw is unlikely against Salzburg. So there's a toss of a coin game, and it's not a toss of a coin game. Liverpool beat Salzburg 7 out of 10 times because they're better than them. Yeah. Now it's going to be difficult at Salzburg, don't get me wrong, but Liverpool should beat them. So if you're Napoli, this situation, if you want to come top of the group, doesn't help. You're going to qualify anyway. So why don't you go for it? Why don't Liverpool go for it more? You can make an argument Liverpool should put the keeper up, because it doesn't matter if they get beat, it doesn't change the material condition, and neither side genuinely goes for it at 1-1.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I sort of thought there were some players who looked like they wanted to, like Virg almost takes himself up front.
Virg just puts himself
Robertson's
up front.
Just spraying balls into the box, but there's a few who are just sort of like, this is all right.
Draw's all right, exactly, and that's the thing. The thing was, it didn't look like there was a coherent thing. And also, if you're Napoli, why don't you? It's all right to say you're at Anfield, it's a difficult place to go. Liverpool are brilliant. So why don't you say, right, we're going to hang on in until the last 5 at 1-1, and then we'll throw everything at it, and just try and catch them cold, hit them on a break, and go, ta-da! It's now 2-1 Napoli. We've qualified, and we're top of the group. If we beat Genk, so we've done that bit as well. It's literally so. I'm going to do your thing, and you can decide.
Go on.
So there's 5 minutes left on the clock. 5 minutes to go. And I've just told you what's at stake and what's not at stake.
Okay.
Take all this stuff out of my pockets. What's at stake and what's not at stake. And what I've got here is a coin.
Right.
So, heads, Liverpool, tails, Napoli. It's 1-1 with 5 to go. Do you want to toss the coin? Genuinely, do you want to toss the coin?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Not just because it's a game, not just because of this, would you toss the coin? Because neither manager does.
Yeah.
So you'll toss the coin?
I'll toss the coin.
So Josh Sexton will toss the coin. So it's heads Liverpool, tails Napoli.
Josh Sexton is not the manager of Liverpool or Napoli.
50-50. Because my point about this is that at that moment, Napoli have got more control with 5 to go of their own destiny as to whether or not they're going to finish top of that group than they now have when they play Genk at home and Salzburg. Similarly, Liverpool, what was at stake for them was the idea of being able to treat Salzburg as a dead rubber if you beat Napoli and you go from there. So everyone would have been better off if we'd have just tossed a coin. And you agree with that?
Yeah.
Let's toss the coin. So heads Liverpool, tails Napoli. This is it, the result of the game. It is tails, so Liverpool have still got to go to Salzburg and get something. It makes no odds, and Napoli have come top of the group.
I sort of think there's something in it reputationally for Carlo Ancelotti, though, to go to Anfield and get a result, and it is a result for Napoli in a sense that they've just got to draw at Anfield.
And club and turmoil.
Yep.
And all of that sort of stuff, and it calms that down. Similarly, I think that there's something where Klopp doesn't like to get beat if you can avoid it, because the idea that Anfield's a fortress and it's really difficult to get something from there. I do understand all of that, and listen, we're messing about and they're professional football managers who understand this stuff and understand dressing rooms. But there is part of me that does think the game theory has got to come into this somewhere. And that's what was so surprising to me. And the other thing is, as you said, it's strange that it felt like some Liverpool players, Lovren barely celebrates his goal. He barely celebrates his goal. So clearly Lovren's thinking, go and get the ball out of the net, we need to go and get another because we want to win this. It felt like Van Dijk was thinking that. Maybe there's bits of Liverpool's performance where they're rushing it and forcing it, which suggests they're thinking that. But ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, Liverpool don't do a series of sensible things that turn it into a toss of a coin. Instead, they're just not very good.
And I think that, you know, Jurgen Klopp has some responsibility to take in this in terms of the substitutes he makes, and we spoke about it just before we started recording. I really don't like the Joe Gomez at fullback thing. I think I've probably said it on multiple shows, probably some videos before as well. I honestly don't see how the manager can do it again, but I've said that so many previous games before, and he's sort of, you know, stuck with it to some degree. But what I think is, once you've made the decision, you can't just then go back on it with your third sub of the game to bring Trent Alexander-Arnold on. And you mentioned about the crossing thing as well. I just don't think it makes any sense at all.
No, I mean, Trent has got the best delivery at the club, so we can all accept that and we can all acknowledge that. But one of the issues wasn't about quality delivery, it was what you were delivering into, where they're playing their right back is effectively a 6'5" centre-half, and they've got two 6'5" centre-halves next to him, and the keeper was being very dynamic and coming and claiming. I think at that point I wouldn't have done Trent either. I think I wouldn't have done the Origi, I'd have brought Keita onto the middle and took a little bit of a chance. I'd have kept Henderson at right back. I'd have just done Milner. I think Milner's race was run, so I think that's fine. But I'd have done I'd have done Keita just to offer something a little bit different in the middle. I'd even have done Lallana ahead of doing Trent for the same logic, to be honest with you. Someone who'll put the foot on it, have a little look and see where the options are. And I think that's what Liverpool were missing. Again, I understand why he does what he does, and it may well be that he's looking at right back thinking we're vulnerable, or he might be looking at right back thinking I don't really want to just leave Henderson there for a number of reasons. But in general, in terms of right back, I think he's got a problem with what he's going to do. Trent can't play every game. Trent only gets 38 starts last season. Now he's maturing, so let's say this season he's going to get 42 starts. Well, that's still, given all the games Liverpool are likely to have, you know, there's still 10 genuinely competitive matches there we don't want him to play in from the start. And I think he's going to have to think about what he does at right back when Trent doesn't play. And I think more and more he's going to have to think about what he does at left back when Robertson doesn't play, because at some point Milner is going to wane there. And I don't think he can get quality cover in the transfer market for those positions because the drop-off will be too great. I think his solution may well be, and it's, you know, there'll be people watching this thinking this fella's mad. While I'm watching this, he's messing around with coins and he's saying things like this. I think that long term, I'd be saying to the manager today, I'd be having separate conversations with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and with Naby Keita, and saying to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I might have to think about you a bit at right back, and saying to Naby Keita, I might have to think a bit about you at left back. It'll get you on the pitch, but I think Liverpool, because of the way we play, when they're not available, we need midfielders in those full-back positions. We don't need centre-halves. And I actually thought in the game last night, Gomez's performance, I think he's looked nervy, I think he's looked short of confidence. And as the game wore on, he looked nervier and he looked further and further short of confidence. And I was pleased when the manager took him off, not just from a Liverpool winning point of view, but to get him out the firing line. Yeah.
Well, luckily Liverpool's race in the Champions League is not yet run. We've got to go to Salzburg and get something, and I would love it. I would love it if we beat them. There's been plenty more reaction to the game, though, including on our post-match pint last night. Here's a little clip from that for you.
We just didn't play angry enough.
No.
The crowd wasn't angry enough.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Jurgen, he made one tactical decision that he rectified later in the game with regard to Gomez, who's a fabulous young player who's going to do a lot for us, but he wasn't the right lad in the right place at the right time tonight. And it's just one of those nights, unfortunately. Now, in the second half, much improved. Happy days. Did enough to win the game in the second half, but the game lasts 90 minutes. You can't just start at half-time. It was just one of those, but let's not get too flat and let's get too negative. We're top of our group. Going into the last game, you know, and everything's in front of us. We could have done without one more difficult game to play during December.
That was the thing we were all looking forward to.
And that's it. But equally, you know, this is where the mentality can sort of kid you. Jurgen talks a lot about rhythm. Have we got enough in us to go, you know, get a draw in Salzburg and all that? Yeah, of course we have. So very disappointing. And more about just how flat everybody was. And it's all right blaming the ref. And it's all right talking about, you know, Demar Larson it and whatever have you. They were always going to do that. Yeah. They were always going to. And it was enough. And it was enough. And if that was enough, it means that we weren't good enough.
Yeah, a short clip from our post-match pint there, which is available on the Anfield Apps app. Make sure you go and download that on iOS, on Android, whatever phone you've got. Go and download the Anfield Apps app. It's your one-stop shop for all Liverpool fan content. And Neil, as a Liverpool fan being sat in that ground last night, one of the sort of worst moments of the game for me. And there's been a few players who, when they go down injured, there's a bit of a hush around Anfield. Fabinho was the one who goes down last night, and that for me is potentially a huge loss to this Liverpool team.
Yeah, it depends how long, because he can't play against Brighton anyway. I think he will be a bit of a loss against Everton. The one thing I would say, I think you want that presence in there against Everton. The one thing I would say is that then I'm not that bothered about Bournemouth. I'm not even that bothered about Watford. I am bothered though about the Salzburg away as well. So it's those two midweek games on the horizon, and I think Liverpool have got to try and get him back for at least one of them. All that said, Jordan Henderson's played centre midfield and Liverpool sides that have, beaten Everton. I'm not worried about that really, and I think it is worth sort of stating Lallana's done a job there for us at Villa this season. I think he did quite well, and I'd be playing him there against Brighton. I think Wijnaldum can play there, Henderson can play there, but no, none of them are in his class, because at the minute he's the best in the division in that position. So it will be a bit of a blow if it's coming back and it's 6 weeks. If it's coming back and it's 2 weeks and he's 75-25 for Salzburg, then I think we can say, all right, I'd take that now if I was offered it. Have him 75-25 for Salzburg, get him on the pitch and then go from there for that one. But no, I think it will be a bit of a blow, but we need to remember we've got good players, and I think that's something that we're all too quick to forget. And Dejan Lovren's currently, reinforcing that point. I think at some point Joe Gomez will come back and reinforce that point. I think that Henderson's reinforced that point on and off under Jurgen Klopp's tenure. Milner's done the same. There's been games where Milner frustrates the life out of you, and then next game he plays and he's impeccable. So I think I'm not directly worried about it, but it would please me if he was definitely going to be on the pitch against Salzburg.
Yeah, reminder, we've got loads of good players. It's a great time to be a Liverpool supporter, and at the Anfield App we always want to share that journey, of course. And we've been nominated for Fan Media of the Year at the FSA Awards. That's the Football Supporters Association Awards. We'd love you to vote for us. There's going to be a link down in the description for that.
We're up against some of the bums who don't discuss game theory.
They don't toss coins on videos.
No. They might be quite serious-minded people, but they're not doing enough game theory for my liking. So vote for us and not for the other bums. Although I've got nothing but great respect for them.
Vote for the insane lads instead. There's also 25% off everything in our shop. That is for our Black Friday sale. That's everything but our gift card subscriptions, but they're still a great gift for anybody for Christmas. But
does John know about this?
I mean, I hope so.
Does John know?
It feels like John's gone away and then someone's been like, John's away for a bit,
Wow, okay, 25% off. Call it the John Gibbons reduction. Take full advantage of it now. Put the code GIBBO disapproves in a box. 25% off.
That is not the code, by the way. You're going to get 25% off everything but the gift cards, because we don't want Gibbo to go totally insane while he's off and looking after his little boy. So we'll leave him to that. Yeah, we'll leave him to Ted. Leave you to the rest of your day as well. Nice one for watching. Love the Reds.